10:02. I'm Peg Noguera, one of the co-chairs. I'm going to call the meeting to order. This meeting is being televised for regulations. In the interest of people who may be watching this and don't know who we are, I'm just going to go around asking you just to give you your name, please.
Diane Howell, I'm a member.
Joe Sipley, member.
Donna Stein, member. Betsy Etzel, Vice President, Friends of Independent Elders.
Amy Wilson, Cabinet Senior Services Director.
Andrea Slew, Secretary.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, very first thing on the agenda, of course, is to welcome Phil, our newest member, giving us a full slate.
Thank you.
Some of us were present at the selectmen's meeting.
Yeah.
We're here to welcome you, and we know that you're going to be a great addition. We've already seen what you've done at the senior center. Been very helpful already. Okay, so acceptance of reports would be next on the agenda, and the secretary's report, which Ann gets out the same day. Her notes are fantastic as always. So if you've had a chance to look at them, does anyone have any questions on the notes? No, I don't see any questions. I have no questions either, but can I have a motion, please, to accept the secretary's report as written? Diane Howell gave the first, and may I have a second? Don Hassan. Very good. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous? Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Ann, for always doing such a good job.
You're welcome.
Maybe do you want me to read the treasurer's report?
I'll do it if you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
So, and just to let you know, I'm not alone. There's this huge learning curve with this new accounting program. And I'm doing the best I can, but it's not as easy as the old one. I could go in and I could pull up where our balances are. I don't have that same ability yet. People are just being taught what they need at the time. So anyway, these are not verified in that I can't go into the system and see, that my numbers match their numbers. So we'll get there. We'll get there. So we have a new expense control report. They don't call it as such. They call it budget status. It's the second page. And one of the things I had an issue with this new program is how tiny everything is. I have visual issues, and so I do apologize for that. But I was able to finally last night manipulate it so that I could give you September. So the old system, when I went in and wanted to do a report, 7 would be July, 8 would be August, 9 would be September. The new system, 1 is July, 2 is August.
Oh, for the fiscal year.
Yes, for the fiscal year, and unfortunately, I was not told that. So I put in 9 last night, and it showed that we spent no money in September. So then I said,
Because it hasn't occurred yet.
1, 2, 3. Well, no, because it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
July will be next in 2023.
It'll be something. I don't know, but it won't be September. So if you look at the period amount, it shows you like what was spent that time, like that month. Like for example, it says contract services, and I have to question them because it says, and it could be that I'm wrong, they're right, but I tried to check against our records. It says $360.13 spent under contract services. Last month, we spent $260.13 for the door repair that our automated door wasn't working. So I have to go back to them and find out where's that other $100 because I looked at on my records. I have no voucher saying that I paid a bill for $100. So it's just a little frustrating to me that it's still showing similar information, but again, I can't. Our other accounts, they show me if I've made any deposits or if we made any payments, but they don't show you any balances, which doesn't make sense to me. That's for example, for the food pantry account and for the CUA gift account, I can just tell you that for the gift account, we had no donation for our account and we had no expenses. So that account stays the same. For the food pantry account, we had a $200 donation by a young man who's already done other projects for us, Owen Thompson. He's a National Honor Society school project member, and they have to do so many hours every year. He's just such a wonderful, wonderful kid. And he did another yard sale. He previously did a yard sale, and he's so he donated the money he got $200 to the
Is that the one where he doesn't put prices on anything? He just tells people to?
That was a different one.
Oh, that's a
That was
different
a
one.
different one.
Okay.
That was one that we supported the Friends.
Oh,
yard
all right.
sale, yes.
That
But they also gave the donations to the food pantry. So you're-
Wonderful.
you're right there. So in last month, for the food pantry, we purchased some stock from Demoulas Market Basket, which was $443.10. And Staples, we have an account at Staples, and when I go to get, this could be ink or tone or whatever, I always scout out supplies for the food pantry. And since we have an account there, I can purchase things and then charge them off the food pantry. So hand soap, which Market Basket, believe it or not, doesn't always have a good supply. And sometimes they'll limit you to 2 or 3. So I'm able to go in there and buy 30 and at one.
They sell hand soap, straight?
Yes, they have a whole break room aisle. Yep, so all those.
Well,
hand
that's a
soap-
good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to do that, to utilize that.
Yes, why not? And because again, we have the account, so.
And you're not limited to how many you can buy.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Exactly. So, yeah, we're we're doing well in both cases. Just again, a very frustrated person that I am, that I like to be able to immediately go in and check our accounts. So, and hopefully I'll get there.
You'll get the hang of it.
I'm not alone.
Well, how nice of that boy to do that.
Oh.
Is he a senior in high school?
Yeah, he is this year.
Really nice.
Down, you might want to see if he's interested in applying for the scholarship.
Yeah, you know, every child that comes in and does volunteer work, I've been familiar.
Yeah,
A lot of them have been, this year have been sophomores. and juniors. So-
that's okay. Well, they want to build up their hours.
Mhm, This is true.
Excellent. Okay. May I have a motion, please, to accept the treasurer's report as written? Donna says, and I'll second it. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Perfect, unanimous. Our agenda. All right. The director's report, Amy, you're on.
Sure. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you a little bit now and then let's all.
That's fine.
First, outreach has been very, very busy. I'd say out of 3 calls, 2 are probably for outreach for fuel assistance, and other services right now. So, I mean, it's a busy time of the year and, putting that information in the newsletter, I don't know if they are. People are responding to the
Yes, the
amounts,
amounts.
and people are calling saying, we make under that. So we're gonna be very busy. And I know Janet very much wanted to try to do fuel assistance solo this year. I always do some. I have some people that I've been doing their fuel assistance for the past 10 years, you know, and it's just, we just stay that way. But, we're gonna need some help and help me jumping in. Previously, we had Earl was on the work program and Earl was doing fuel assistance. He did a fabulous job. He doesn't have the time right now. We may get to the point where we're gonna have someone else trained.
How about Chet? Is Chet still doing?
Chet's so busy with Shine.
Oh, he's doing Shine,
Oh,
of
Shine, he is very, and this is their busy season.
course.
So that's a double whammy for Janet too, because tomorrow she's going to their annual training for Shine for all the new products that are coming up. So just keeping you posted that the calls are coming in. It's gonna be very busy. And it's just each appointment usually takes about an hour. And then now what we do, instead of mailing forms, bringing in, which could take forever, we scan everything and then send it over. And they get it that day.
In like a folder so that they have that person and all that stuff.
No, scan it. So I put it in the scanner and then I have a folder on the computer.
Yes, yes.
So then I'll send it through an email. So that's been very effective for the clients that I've been working with. You know, Janet sometimes mails them. I couldn't advise that, but I just think let SMART get the paperwork ASAP because you go in order, you know.
I just want to make sure I understand it clearly. We're taking applications now, although the fuel assistance program doesn't actually begin until November
Yes.
1st. But they're in the queue. Once they give you
Yes.
all the stuff, they're in the
Yes.
queue. And then they're going
Oh.
to take them in the order that they're receiving the application.
When we say that it doesn't start till November 1st, what that means is the benefit only covers from November to April 30th. So if you got oil in October,
It's not going
it's not gonna help you. So that's what we mean by November 1st. We have a new member group at SMART that previously we were told recertifications start in August, they still do. New ones don't start until November 1st. That's not what SMART says. We hold back a little bit because we're trying to get caught up on all of our people from last year. it's really only fair, you know, then the new people will get started, but no, so they can actually technically start before November 1st, but we're still doing research right now.
Okay, follow-up question on that. If someone is applying and they haven't received any information yet from SMART, let's say they applied today, and you passed all the stuff in, and then they haven't heard anything from SMART and they need a fuel delivery.
If we do,
They'd have to have it after November 1st. I just want to be clear with it because people do ask me questions on the
yes,
street.
absolutely. So in order for it to be covered by this,
And 11/1 or later, the bill has to be
11/1 or
done.
later, 11/1 or later. But just to let you know too, like a person called yesterday and they said, my wife and I make under, the maximum for two people is like 55,000 change. And this person said, my wife and I make under that. And I said, well, I just want to let you know, the benefit now, is someone making that high amount is right now like $450. Now, if they only make $40,000, then they probably get $500.
I see. The maximum is 800?
No, the maximum, well, you know what? In the past, it's been 1,000 or over ultimately, but it's starting, maximum right now is 440.
Oh, wow.
But hey, as they get more money from the
Right,
federal
they'll-
government, that will easily go up to 1,000. Last year, the year before, people were getting checks after the fuel assistance season. We're seeing another additional $200 or $300, or money was being applied to their electric bills, since we all know our electric bills can get out of hand too, even if you don't have electric heat. So it's really precarious, but I do want to say too, we do have money in our emergency fund, the community emergency fund. And it's like Janet asked me about that. Absolutely. If somebody, you don't want them to run out of oil, somebody's gonna run out of oil, they come to us, it can take 4 to 8 weeks for SMART to look at their application. If they're down to an eighth of the tank or lower, we can put it through as an emergency, and SMART has about a day and a half that they have to look at it. We do a lot of emergencies. You know, somebody might come to me when they're ordering a tank, and I'll say, well, here you go, I'll back in another week or two. We'll put it through, SMART has to look at it. They then deal directly with it, otherwise it can take upwards of 8 weeks for their application to be reviewed. It's very time.
The emergency fund you were referring to, is that apart from this, what you just described through SMART?
This is more about.
Sarah, we do get donations.
Yes, the brothers of the, I know they approve.
Yeah, like that, you know, we got a sizable donation, came to us from a benefactor, thanking us for the work they had done with their family member. And that went right into that account, we started that account, so that's the chance with the bank.
Prices are creeping up again. Everybody I'm sure got to notice that their electric bill is going to go up. It's like 60-something%.
Mhm.
It's not going to be,
So, you know, I'm gonna let Janet kind of proceed, and she's very good, she's very efficient. We have, you know, slightly different methods of whatnot. Like I said, I do standing. Standing is pain in the neck. And I am looking at now the things we're entering this fiscal year. We do have money in our grant and whatnot. I'm gonna look to really stand. When I go for my annual program, they take my documents and they just zip through a little desktop scanner. I want to get those kind for Janet and I. Mine, I have to put it through the all-in-one system, and sometimes it takes it, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it is like so precarious.
No, you have to streamline your system
Yeah.
because it's somebody's fuel is depending
I
on
guess
it.
if they stuck together.
Yeah,
if
and
they-
you didn't
top
get it.
paper went through and the bottom went through.
Yes. So we're gonna have to really be focusing on that. So fuel assistance is underway. Just to let you know, last month we did have a problem with the van. It occurred when I was
On vacation.
when I was on vacation on the 29th of September. It just didn't start. And so we had Holly's team and they, I'm very proud of the staff.
They tried. They
Yes,
tried themselves, they
tried.
did.
Janet was very on top of it. She said, hey, the electric car, we've used the electric car. It's been a while. It's probably been a couple of years, but we used it before when we had an emergency situation. They used the electric car to transport our people. The van did go to Holly's. Unfortunately, it sat there for a number of days because we didn't know that. When we finally, Sheila Holly let me know. Her husband was in Florida when the storm hit. They have a home in Florida. They lost their home. So they were down to one mechanic. And they were also dealing with any of the police emergencies.
Oh, yeah.
They were picking up, transporting vehicles they controlled as well. So unfortunately, our police sat there. When they finally did get to it, they realized that we had a similar problem, probably about, the van is 10 years old, probably about 8 years old. And it has to do with the electronics, the circuits. And so they have sent a way to Ford's StarCraft to get, they need a diagram of what they're dealing with. They did troubleshoot it. They did put a Band-Aid on it. We are using it, but it's not completely fixed, but it's working. But the fact is, the electric car really worked well in a pinch. And it worked better for some seniors that have trouble with the stairs and have trouble with the lifts. So it's there if we need it. If we ever had two competing, say we had somebody call up and say they needed a ride at the same time. If I had two drivers on at the same time, we could drive simultaneously.
So roughly how many more years would we, you think
You
we
know,
could get from the van?
Think about 40,000 miles on it.
That's pretty low, too
Pretty
bad.
low, but in terms of a big vehicle that some people might say that's high. I think our last van was probably about 40, 50, but it was, the floorboards were rusted out. I think that had visible, signs of there. So, no, I'm just not sure yet. I mean, it's a wonderful van. But I think what I'm hearing from Wayne is, it's really big. So do we really need it all the time? Could we use that electric car more? Mark drove last week in an electric car, and I think if he doesn't have to drive it again, he'd be happy. He's like, it's not his cup of tea, but anyway, I will keep you all posted. Just want to say that the minstrels are back. I missed their first 2 weeks, but I got to hear them last week, and it was wonderful. It's really nice to have them back. And so right now they're doing all of their veterans, they're practicing all of their veterans program songs, and they sound really, really great. And you guys are big.
We have 12, I think, of Betsy, Ian, and myself are on it.
Yeah,
No, I think you should do
I'm
that.
gonna vote
Wait,
12.
you got Lucinda.
We haven't seen
I
Lucinda.
know she's been helping. I think with the family. Yeah, but I'd say, and I know a few of you aren't going to be there at the veterans program, but I'd say the group sounds wonderful. That's wonderful. And then we have 3 musicians, so that's
Yeah.
very fortunate to have the memory classes completed. Memory classes completed. I know folks are like saying, "Oh, I hope we offer it again," because there are a lot of people that couldn't make it. We had a really good turnout for both Hopedale and Mendon. I don't know if it was, Janet giving us a cup of tea. Nancy Moser from Hopedale, she taught the class. Especially because in the fall, we're so busy with field assistants. They did one session in the spring last year. And just to hear some good reports. I know there's also some techniques that are kind of funky and like, so that you find what works for you. I think it's the kind of class that it offers many different, avenues and to help you improve. So it's really great to see that happen. We have the matter of balance with Tri Valley is underway. I think they are very pleased. They wanted a small class. You've done that class before with like up to 20. They wanted a small class, 12 maximum, 8 minimum. And I think we're at, I think 2 people that signed up had to decline. Something. So it's going really well. People are enjoying it. Pleased with that. I'm very proud again of our staff that I'm up here and the fact that they're able to navigate because we have to, change the room over. I'm making sure between those 2 classes, everything is wiped down. The chair arms, the tables, the plates with aired out. I'm just, conscious of germs, I guess.
The configuration is still the same though, and it will stay there till.
Just for a couple more weeks, and people are balking. Somebody yesterday said, "Can't you go back?" But I gotta tell you, now that evening yoga has started, we have to break down on Tuesdays. We have to, break down the tables, put up the lunch tables, break them down.
It's too much.
It's a lot. They had evening yoga last night. They had 9 out of the 10 showed up. They're thrilled to be back. But we have to. I had Wayne go in yesterday because we had people in and out over the weekend. Plus, we had the Girl Scouts. Wayne go in to clean the floors yesterday morning and then clean and wash the floors and then do them at the end of the day because people doing yoga on the same floor.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
have
lot.
mats, but still.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So, but I will say this, the rectangular tables are so much easier to deal with than the round. The round are tricky. And then you have to find a place to store them, and which cuts into the room space. But we'll make do, and we will get back to the round. People really do like the round. I think they like that intimate feeling. But I think they've also liked for you because they've got to see people on the other side that they don't normally sit with, for lunch.
So it'll be at least through the end of October.
Yeah, you probably, I think the other matter balance ends the 9th of November. So, but it's work, you know what, even for me, it was a change, but those are the tables those types of tables are the tables that center originally had. The round tables probably came 15 years ago, so they're relatively new speaking. So evening yoga is underway. Phil and Donna are here. Phil's going to meet with town clerk and get sworn in today, and needs to do with ethics training. She'll give you the information on that. And then just want to let you know, building use, we're being used moderately. We've got the Girl Scouts on Sunday. We have another Girl Scout troop that was vying for the same time, but unfortunately they can't have it. So they may take a later time on Sunday. We've got the Lions Club. We've got the Historical Society using it this week. We've got Temple Pleasure using it intermittently. We've also had one other right here. So, it's the Boy Scouts. Yes, the Boy Scouts. It's going well. It's going well. I'm a little disappointed in that of those groups that I just mentioned, only two came forward with baskets. And I had with all the people that approached me, I sent them an email about how there is no fee to use the building. However, baskets are really encouraged and appreciated for the friends. So this goes back to August and before. And I don't do it just once. I oftentimes do it a second time. And I did supply Dottie Garceau with all the emails to hopefully send out letters, but I guess letters never went out. Because that's what I said to everyone. I said, a letter will be coming to you. And so some of them, I'm just disappointed because I think Girl Scouts using it every would be nice, to be. But we'll say, they do offer themselves, like, is there anything you need? I do have one Girl Scout troop that is making some of the nice care bags for Janet to bring to people. So they do come and they do plant flowers. They do come through it other ways, but I was trying to help the friends with me and did very well.
I'll get to that in your report. Yeah.
So I think that's all I'm going to mention here.
Okay, well, feel free to hop in at any time and something strikes you. Betsy is next, and that's the Friends of Men and Elders, and I know you gave us a handout, but because we're all.
Yes, for them, I'll read it.
Yes, please.
After having the summer off, the Friends of Men and Elders meeting was held September the 12th. Following the meeting, we delivered school supplies to the class school. 20 bags were delivered to the classrooms and 5 were left in the principal's office for extra supplies. We spent approximately $600 on school supplies for the children and teachers. During this time, we made plans to have a booth at the Lions Club and Country Fair on October 9th. We get many baskets to raffle with the drawing being held on October 17th, which is our next meeting, along with a great bake sale, crocheted knitted scarves and hats. We say thank you to all for their hard work. To date, the profit is $1,459. That was after expenses and not taking into consideration any trauma that we suffered just recently with a theft, but that will be replaced. Our next Friends and Men and Elders meeting, October 17th, will be hosted by Peyton Jimmer with a Halloween theme. Funds were approved for the October 27th hat party with pizza and salad being provided. Funds were approved for the December 7th entertainment. And we ask that anybody wanting to run for office is encouraged to attend, offer to volunteer for an office. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you. Has anyone given you, I'm sorry, what?
December 7th, what's the entertainment?
Hold on.
Was it December 7th or 4th?
It's the 22nd.
It's the 22nd.
For orchestra.
It's orchestra of one.
Oh, okay.
22nd.
It's the 22nd. Okay.
22nd.
Okay.
And then I'll mention that too with the friends about the veterans program. I think we didn't have the date solidified at your last meeting. but the Friends usually contribute their one of the sponsors for.
Yes, we do sponsor that. Yeah.
Has anyone expressed any interest in running for office? Do you know?
Well, nobody wants to follow us. Not
Oh, you're a
yet.
tough act to
Yeah, I
follow.
know.
Yeah, that's what I was
You did a
gonna say.
wonderful
Yeah.
job, both of you.
Yeah, really. Just the increase in membership alone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not to mention that we now have 95 dues-paying members.
Excellent.
Which we brought up when we were attending the selectmen's meeting for Phil.
Yes.
To be inducted, we did mention the fact that we had more members than could actually fit in the building. Yes. We're
Twice.
always planting that seed,
Twice. Crazy amount.
yeah, reminding them that we will be coming back at it in the spring. Well done. I mean, when is the election?
At our next meeting, we're going to be bringing up the fact that we just need to start asking for people to step forward and volunteer. I think Dottie has set a great pattern for everybody. She's got everything in order financially. We brought everything up to date. There's a couple of things we still want to bring up to date. But for the most part, everything is brought up to date. The addresses are there. We just pretty much have to step in there and just run the meeting.
You didn't form a nominating committee.
I think you have one, don't you?
Do you have a nominating?
I
committee?
think we do. I think we do have a nominating committee.
Yeah, that-
Right.
That's good. You know, sometimes if you approach people,
On an individual basis.
right, that personal touch sometimes might.
I'd like to get the younger,
I agree.
yeah, we'd like to get the younger, and we've approached a couple of people. They said, well, we're already running on a committee here, and we don't want to take anything else. And
Well, that's the thing. You don't want to burn people out, you know, you kind of.
we stole our youngest person.
But we found her first.
I know you
We
did.
found her first.
Yeah, they can get burned out if they try to do too much. They might think they could do it.
Yeah, I know, that's, we're not getting any
Vice
younger.
president.
The one thing too, though, I think people should consider too, is perhaps an interim president. Tom Irons did that. I don't know if that was between Sue and Pat. I think Tom for a year, the interim, and he did a really fine job running the meetings. And that in and of itself is important. I mean, granted, the other cogs in the wheel of running different events, I mean, sometimes the president can have a pattern down. You don't want to say they can run themselves.
They can't.
But there are members that are very familiar, but in terms of running meetings, an interim person might be would side at what's needed at this time. I don't know.
I mean, we've had a hard time keeping our number up on the Council on Aging. We just
That's
had-
right. Yeah, luckily we are.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
up to full speed. It's great.
All right, well, that's good, thank you. Okay, old business, we move on to number 3, old business. Food pantry update, the Scouts November food.
So
drive.
it's November 5th. So, all right, I know I've mentioned to you a few times that we're really eager to let people come in on their own safely, on their own to do their food shopping, and after really careful consideration, Janet and I have gone back and forth. We really can't start it till like January because we have to put things into place. We have to get people ready for it. We have to get ready for it too. We have a senior abatement, it's actually a senior veteran abatement worker who's helped us in the past. He's willing to come back when we have actual open hours during the food pantry. He doesn't want to come back and do any stocking and all that. And he was wonderful, helping people out with their bags and putting them in the car, bringing the carriage back. And so that's what we're fine, but we really need to and we have to have other people in place. It's not something that you come in and you let people shop. You have to have people kind of poised at different areas and saying, well, no, I'm sorry, you can only have one of those, or 2 of those. There are certain things that we have to buy. We don't get a lot of, for example, we don't get a lot of Alfredo sauce donated. So we go out and we buy a couple cases at a time. I really can't let one family take 2, got to make it right. So things like that. So we really need to have people poised that aren't afraid to say, hey, I'm sorry, So we have to get that in place. We have to have everybody well aware. I was hoping to have today a slip to show you, but I want to give every household in say November, December, give it to them 2 months saying starting December. Now this will be their choice if they want to come in. Some people still want to do the boxes. They like the way them. But the others, it will really help Janet and I because I just about had it. If I have another call, I forgot to send my slip in, can I come in? It's like, we are so busy that.
You have to say no.
Yeah, taking time.
Personal responsibility. They have to have
You
personal
have to tell them to go
responsibility.
by last month's slip or something,
Mhm.
you gotta-
Well, this, yeah, so but they'll say, can I come in? And,
they wanna come in, huh?
yeah, they want to come in.
Is it once a month that they can get food? And is there a certain amount of bags or you just say?
We used to have it. We used to say, 2 bags for a single person,
Mhm.
3 for a family. And then in addition to that, you get a bag with all the paper goods. Honestly, we're giving more than that away.
Right.
If
and
we
we're
have it, I don't have a problem.
We're not feeling the
Right.
lack of it. We have it
Yeah.
to give. We really have it to give, but there's just certain areas that we really have to, like, we couldn't take too much. And I also look, if you ordered shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes last month, I'm not gonna give you shampoo, toothbrush. I have one family that they ask for toothbrushes every single month. Okay. And so there are some orders I have to look at before they go to Ann, and I say, no, they don't get this, they don't get this. That's,
And I know like certain things, like if they ask for gravy, that they can't have all the gravy. Some people want turkey, chicken, and beef gravy. They can only have one, pick one. And chicken stock and beef
Yes.
stock, those are, you can only get one.
and those things we have to buy one of those. But, Ann attests that they get a really hefty order. They really do. They do. So,
And that's not, the food pantry, my understanding, supplements what they are already buying. That's my understanding.
Yes.
In other words, we're not providing 100%.
Exactly.
Somebody's
I was,
grocery.
when I first came here, I was told, and I just ingrained in me, this is not a month's worth of food for them. This is a
Right.
supplement.
That's right.
This is a supplement.
So
So,
plus we don't have any perishables. I mean, they have to get their perishables with the
Right.
food stamp.
Well, but if we can give them things that they can't buy with their food
yes,
stamps,
their laundry soap. We have to go out and buy
even
laundry
regular soap like you just bought, hand soap and things.
Yes.
And I don't know anybody who changes their toothbrush every month.
Oh, my God.
They're like, I
Yeah.
go to the dentist every 6 months and I'm
They
like, I
give
get
you
a
one.
new toothbrush.
They
give you
every
one,
6
yeah.
months.
So it's going well. It's going well. It's very busy. The last week's been very, very busy. Ann and I are in communication weekly. No, so it's going well. But so hopefully next month I'll have more Peg. I will show you. It's going to be a pretty simple note that I'm going to be. We're going to be given this opportunity, but what we want is if they're going to come to that shop in-person day. They have to still notify us because we don't want to be waiting around and it's going to be 9 to 12.
No, because you're downstairs for the food pantry and you're upstairs where your office is. And
Right.
for Janet, it's another floor.
Right, but on this Friday, it's gonna be the first Friday of the month, Janet and I decided, we'll be there, and it may be for 1 month, maybe the next month, maybe to start, I'd like to have it be both of us, and then, but I do need other people to help out. And then, it'll be from 9 to 12, but we still have to get there beforehand and make sure everything's all set up, and 9 to 12, and that's it, but we wanna know who's coming.
January, starting in January.
That'll be January 6th, I believe. And then that's gonna simply alleviate, it won't probably change any orders that we're already putting together that people want to see anyway. What it's gonna change is people calling and saying, can I come on Monday, can I come on Tuesday? Or when can I come this week? It's getting very tiring. And I say the first Friday of the month, with few exceptions, probably won't have a Friday. After this. Friday of the month.
I want to ask one other thing, because it's about the scout drive now. We were talking about sending something, because the
Okay.
paper right now is not existing.
Right. And so we looked into the cost, it was gonna be very cost prohibitive, even though when we mentioned it at the select board
Yeah,
meeting.
Lauren Tito.
Lonnie Trentino talked about responses. I thought about it, and the scouts had said to me, let's do social media. Social media doesn't work for everybody, but how many of you, did you read your newsletter and see that it was in there?
I read my newsletter.
The food pantry drive. The other thing I'm gonna do, which I've always done in the past, I will send that list up to the select superintendent's office. They will send it out to all Indian households that have school children. So those will be covered, and then the 700 households that we send the senior newsletter.
Are you gonna have it printed up List.
You know, it was gonna be close to $1,000.
Oh.
I mean, when you guys approved 500, and then when I went back to the publisher, it was gonna be another 200, and then it just.
It's just gonna eat into, it's gonna eat into.
And it wasn't even that, what I really wanted to do, I wanted to do it as a public service announcement to make people aware, people that need the food pantry that they see. But, you know, but they'll also, if they're family members, they'll get it through the schools, seniors, got it in their.
It's gonna be
newsletter.
on ABMI.
Yep.
It's gonna be on
Yeah.
ABMI. How about, now we have what, 2 churches in Mendon? We have
Yeah.
St. Gabriel's and we have,
Yeah, but I have churches in there.
I don't know, I'm asking.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say, if we gave them a copy, maybe they could put something in their bulletin, or maybe it's too late.
they can put it on bulletin. It's not, yeah.
Okay. Because there's the Unitarian
That's a
church.
good, that's a very good idea. And I've always done that for some of our evidence-based programs, you know, and we were able to really pull, even if you pull, you know, like one person here, but if you affect, you know, 3 people in one church and they decide to give.
Mhm.
St. Gabriel's is located in Upton and they have their own food pantry. And so they
But
always
Mendon
have
people
some,
go there.
they always have something.
But they have a drive for us too.
Yeah, and they give us, at
In
Thanksgiving,
November.
around
and
Thanksgiving, they give us.
Bloomer Girls, it's still Bloomer Girls?
I think so.
They do a really nice drive for us, and then they also do a secondary, I think, later in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we picked them up with the
You
van, I
had,
know,
yes. I did.
crawled into the back.
Yeah, so I thought as much as because what I wanted to do the food pantry drive on one side and I wanted to do fuel assistance on the other. I wanted to make people aware of other services we offer, but I think this is not the year to do that, and I can still put something about fuel assistance on the flyer that I sent up to the superintendent's office, so. Well, because it's gonna be a busy one there.
No.
Yeah, 1,000 is too
The
much.
Scouts used to do a little, they used to hang it on the.
No, they're not doing that anymore. They're not doing that, they're not doing the bags.
Yeah.
Where are we putting the food then? Where is it going?
Oh, sorry, it was in the newsletter, Clough School parking lot, they're gonna be there from 8 to 12.
Drop.
Yeah.
Drop off.
Yeah.
And the other places you could drop it off at the gazebo or the post office. Wade checks the post office regularly. He did mark off his checks.
And food is always coming in all the time. It's a constant flow.
And especially when we get something out from Alana Podio.
Yeah.
We get a really quick response on that. It's not huge, but it's what we've asked for.
Right, she's on social media.
She's on social media.
And also, if it's at the club school, you know, maybe they'll have enough people so that they could check the expiration date
Oh, they usually do.
before they bring them down to us.
They usually do. And that's a great thing for the scouts to do because they've got 4 hours to kill while they're
Yeah.
there. They do that. Granted, sometimes things get through, you know.
But if some things were close, if some dates, I just read an article last week about the Best Buy dates and things like that. They're not really accurate, you know. Because we do leave some things on the tables at the center when the date is real close. It's been like
Yep.
2 weeks past or something. So we could probably still take some of those in a separate box. Because some people are saying, you know,
But I will say this too, I think the scouts also know places where to bring that food.
okay, then
You know,
that's.
everybody has, like, we have a couple of
Yeah.
shelters, soup kitchens, pantries that our food goes to. If it's not going upstairs to the seniors. but,
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the hours for the club school? 8 to 12?
8 to 12. And we do have a new volunteer for the food pantry. She just started a week ago and then she went on vacation. She's gonna be a Monday person. Her name is Lynn. I'm sorry, her last name escapes me, but she's I think she's probably a nurse. She will be coming Monday. She'll be checking dates. She will be stocking shelves.
Good.
You know, I don't know, whatever jobs. I'm gonna hopefully train her also to do some shopping. Jeff's been doing a phenomenal job shopping. I'm giving him really heavy things to get. So I want to be able to kind of split it up a little bit, you know. He has some pretty heavy orders and I'll give him a big order and I'll say, don't have to get it all at once. Take your time. But he goes, he gets it all. And
Well, some of the markets, I know, the Market Basket, they'll help you bring it to your car if you have a huge.
absolutely.
And then if you know he's showing up at a certain time at the the center, some people can come and
Oh,
help.
yep,
So he doesn't
absolutely.
have to lug it all himself.
No, so what we do is we bring a grocery cart out to the car,
Yeah.
everything goes in there, and that's what he does. He doesn't do any stocking or anything like that,
Okay.
so.
What about- Besides the newsletter and advertising it with the schools, what were the other?
We talked about cable.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Okay,
ABMI,
yes,
and I said the local churches, if they could post something
Mhm.
on their bulletin boards, or even mention it over the altar. I didn't,
Very, very good point. You know, like I said, I've reached out to them for other things, for programs, but I need about
They did-
actually.
What about Facebook though? Because that.
Oh, no, yeah,
People read
Yep,
Facebook.
yep.
A lot.
that's Melissa's job.
oh, I was gonna ask you who was, in charge of posting, because not everybody can post things. I was gonna post some pictures from,
Fair.
from the fair, and I couldn't.
We can actually, I can give you permission. I mean, Melissa's the only one right now.
Okay. I didn't send them to her, I sent them to you and John.
Okay. Oh, you know, I didn't know who the other,
It was John Trainer,
I didn't know who the other.
because he took a few pictures. He was up there too. He was up there, yeah.
Okay, but no, I'd be okay with that
All right.
because I just don't have time in my.
I'll be at the center tomorrow for my.
Luckily, they didn't put the elders inside the club school. I was talking to a girl at the gym the other day, and she's from Uxbridge. They had a knitting booth with knit goods, and they were in the club school, and nobody was coming in.
Of course not, we wouldn't think to.
I didn't think that they were gonna do that
And
after
they
all.
have- there were- She said there were like 5 groups in the club school, and then finally at noon time, that somebody made an announcement over the loudspeaker, over the microphone. And then she said a few more people started coming.
There was so much space in that field.
I know,
Yeah, small tournament.
and people didn't even know. A lot of people didn't know. there
Well,
was-
see, I thought I was mistaken because that's what I originally believed. But then when I saw all the food trucks.
When I saw no, I said, there's no food here. That's so weird.
Oh, no, it was in,
And we
blood. I
left.
could smell it.
Oh, we're like, where's the food?
So we should give them that feedback. I mean, so if you're gonna do it in club school, do it all in the club school. But don't, I say, I didn't know that, because I thought, I
Yeah.
said, gee, maybe I was mistaken. They weren't gonna do
People
the club
didn't real, there
school.
wasn't any signage or anything to let people know that it was in the
There
club
was a
school.
tiny little sign. We didn't go in.
Did you see a sign? Was there a
There
sign?
was also in the club school.
Was that the
They're-
parking lot
now,
across the street?
Coming in.
Oh, it's been packed over there. but
They're meeting
We
tonight at
parked,
the
we
senior
parked
center.
at Club, because that's where
Yeah.
vendors' cars could
Right.
park.
Yeah, because I parked in the
Yeah,
parking
and I
lot.
parked right near you.
Because I went to go over to the field and Skip and Tom were there at the end
Yep.
and said, no, you're a vendor. And so we backed up.
Yeah,
and
because I
walked
think
over.
it was a charge, wasn't there a donation?
or
instead?
It wasn't a donation because it was a donation. I look at it differently. If you don't have the $4 on you, then you should be able to park in the driveway. They turned my son away
Really?
because he didn't have cash.
No.
And so, but I mean, I had told him, make sure you have cash, and he didn't, but he just went down to the bank and parked there. So,
And I did hear that they were splitting that money. That money, I guess, was going to two.
I have no idea, because I parked in there.
because I told
That's
him, I
what I
said, you don't have any money, but he parked in there, I would have given him the money so that when he was going to pick up his car, he could give him the money.
Yeah, amazing if you look at it.
Well,
Just.
My son's
they
36 years
probably,
old.
I think Faruqi would probably be interested in the feedback. He probably,
What's your mind?
See, he wasn't in charge of it this year.
he was the one that was reading the cards.
But he usually, I mean, because usually, I think he was the one that the friends. had to
Colleen,
pay.
the girl who used to run the
Okay.
greenhouse,
Okay.
Colleen.
Yeah, she was.
Chairman of it.
Yeah, so they're meeting at the senior center tonight. I don't know if we did that. Usually at like 6.
You already had a late night last night. I saw you twice,
I was miserable. I
twice.
was miserable. But so, everything's going well. I know I asked last year and we didn't pull it together. Because we previously had gotten, fresh fruits and vegetables from the former representative. Last year I asked you folks about doing it. We talked, you were in agreement, but I never did pull it together. I'd like to consider that if time allows, if we're ordering things through, what we did was we ordered through our Market Basket, so many boxes of squash, so many boxes of bags of potatoes, so many carrots. And then people could come in and get them, maybe it's not a good time because we're not doing it in person,
What happened with the food bank, the Boston food bank, getting
It still exists, but it didn't support us last year at all. No, it didn't support anyone other than itself, I believe, last year.
What about the Worcester?
We're not affiliated with those.
Because it's affiliated with Milford.
Yeah, we probably could be,
And-
but I think you have to, there's certain groups you have to go through. Boston is free. We would drive in there the second Saturday in November with a truck, and they would just, you never knew what you were gonna get. It could be cases of laundry detergent, it could be cases of peanut butter, you know. But I can check with them to see if the caravan is gonna happen again.
And is anything going on in Lou Evangelista's, I never pronounce his name
So
right.
they stopped in last week. They, two of the sheriffs stopped in with mums and pumpkins, 2 mums and 2 pumpkins. And I said, oh, no cornstarch this year. They said, no cornstarch this year, but they keep in touch with us. Actually, I get emails from them periodically, and they also supply us with the file of life cards, as does the Mendon Fire Department.
They gave us food before, but I think it was in the summertime.
Oh, they did fresh because they have their own gardens. They're the prison
Right,
has
right,
gardens.
right.
and They didn't do it this year.
Okay,
I think it was a really tough year
Well, it
for
was
some
a drought.
gardens.
We have the drought. I think we're-
yeah.
But they definitely remember us. And when I say us, I'm all senior centers in this area.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's running again.
yes, I saw his name on.
Up at the town center. All right, thank you. That's been very informative. Anybody have any questions on that? I think you covered everything. this time. Okay, senior center addition update.
So you mentioned it. Would you like to speak to, Ed brought it up to the.
Well, I did bring it up. Most of you were there. I think just Betsy wasn't there.
I fell asleep, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No. I didn't know I had that talent. Anyway,
Let me tell you. It's boiling.
Anyway,
So,
when Phil was being asked to be approved by the selectmen, we felt it was our opportunity at that time to just say, we have 93 paid Friends members, which we could not even accommodate at the senior center because we have 50 for the maximum on the first floor, 20, I believe, for the second floor. So if all the members showed up, we would have to turn some away. Also, the main point that we have to keep talking about, and I try to do it, and I know you do too, Amy, is that in an emergency, we are the emergency place to house and feed people and provide beds. And we've got all that there. We are. Civil defense, this is the go-to place. It's our place.
30, I think it's 30 beds.
Yeah.
30 beds, but what I'm saying is who's going to stand at the door and turn families away if we have to do it? If it was a severe emergency, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm so grateful that I have a generator because I'm always losing power. I'm always losing power on my street. And, people lose power and they got kids and it's the winter time. If we have to house people and feed people, we really do need the expansion. We have to get that great room, that large meeting room, which can hold like up to 100 people. If we have to put beds out, how would we even possibly do that in what we have to work with now? So we brought that up again too. And the selectmen, I have to say, well, we also thank them for the Senior of the Year proclamation and showing up for that and supporting us in that. But I really felt that all of the selectmen, had a clear understanding of our need.
Right.
And they didn't seem to make any objection about it.
Right, and so then we brought up the fact that Chief Pursley had
Yes,
expressed.
I had
an
mentioned that.
interest in being on a building committee,
And
and
he came up.
He signed
he,
up.
he had just had 2 police officers,
Yep.
hired. He came back and he jumped in.
He spoke in our
Yes.
defense.
And he looked back at Chief Kessler from the fire department.
But Chief Kessler, he's running Blackstone
Yeah,
and Mendon
yes,
right
he's
now.
very good.
He's running 2 towns.
Yeah.
So, we got to cut him a little bit of slack.
So beyond that, I did get an email, I'm sorry if I didn't have a chance to send it to you, from Ann Mazar.
Oh,
This
good.
remember the one, we were on the email from Dan Byer about the wells and, Ann jumped in, and sometimes things happen, they don't happen in real time, they happen like after the fact. She jumped in on an email and she, said, yes, I think you should talk to the engineer that we've been dealing with on their project. Their project is adjacent to us. And, I know they just had their property surveyed by the same people that we had our property surveyed. So I don't know how that's gonna, how that's going to work out, but, so that just, I want to say that was right before
What about the well, the problem with the well, did that get straightened out?
No, they need an engineer to work on that. It's just a matter of where located. I think a lot, what I'm hearing from her, from Dan, who's on the water committee, is I'm hearing that it's doable. It's doable, but it's gonna take some work, you know, and because there are certain laws, and rules and regulations for certain type of facilities, and I think they could,
I don't have a message that was initiated by her, so it might have been under someone else.
right.
And then she just, continued it.
Yeah, so it was several weeks, you know, until she continued it, so. I think Dan was the one that started it, because of that day that he and I were standing in the parking lot and he's telling me. you
Oh,
need to
after
do
the Boy
this.
Scout.
Yeah,
life.
you need to do this, and this, and I'm like, Dan, can you please send that to me in email? And he did.
Maybe he could be on our committee. I mean, I know he's a very busy guy and we
Yeah.
appreciate everything he does,
Yeah.
but he has a lot of good ideas.
He has a-
Why don't you invite him on behalf of the board?
And I think ultimately though, it's the select board that has to.
That's right, that's right. But they're gonna want good, talented people on the
I
board.
think, Chief Kersey.
I'd like to be on that.
Yes, I think, yes, we talked about that too.
That's great.
I think you would be a good
I've built a
representative.
lot of houses,
Well, there you go, see?
built up
Excellent.
buildings strong.
Good. So we have to get that underway.
And then the engineer that you were talking about, does that have to be, they have to put bids out, the select board has to put bids out?
I don't know about the engineer, but they are gonna ultimately have to do, you know, put bids out for other things, architectural, but they also have to have, townspeople have to vote on it,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. Order, so,
Yeah.
so we'll get, I think we're slow but sure opening up the conversation.
Okay. So we'll add it to next month's agenda as well, though, because we're missing two members.
Yeah.
And I would like Earl's input on it, because he was on the original board.
Yes.
Committee, I was not.
You are on the original committee.
All right.
And the next two things, I do apologize, I don't have it typed up. I have like Ann's wonderful notes about the acceptable behavior policy. I apologize, I have not.
Okay, it's all right. We haven't done it since 2018, so
Right.
we can wait another month.
Okay. And I haven't firmed things up with Alan next door at the highway department about the signs and where they're gonna, speed limit signs. And it's really confusing to me because what actually is the speed limit? I think in some instances it's 40. in the senior center. It's coming down here, it's 35, and then it changes, I think.
And then when you're going towards the senior center, it's 40. It's
It
bizarre.
doesn't make sense.
No.
Doesn't make sense.
And can we post somewhere in the senior center? I've noticed this more than one occasion.
People using the wrong.
People exiting in the entrance.
We'll put that
And
in
the
the
trouble
newsletter.
is that people who are coming down Providence Street and they're gonna take a left, they're crossing, they've got traffic that they're trying to either beat or they don't see anybody. And if somebody's blocking it, that's a chance of a bad accident.
Please follow the one-way.
Yeah, please do, please do.
Yes, we'll put it in the newsletter. We can post it there.
Has anyone else seen that or just me?
I know.
I've done.
Oh,
The first time I came to the seniors, I didn't realize it was an in and out until someone said this.
I've got
Yeah,
to go.
so, yeah, now that I know, I mean, and I think if you just remind people. Yeah,
And I think a lot of it are new people.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so like, what is that one-way sign there for, you know? So when they're driving out, they're facing the opposite direction.
yeah, crossing the traffic though, because like you said, they are flying on the road.
Okay, we'll get to that other part.
You've already worked out with Alan about placement of the.
No, not that, he has to do that. The
Oh.
company basically said, you know, you folks have to provide the location.
Okay, so we'll table that in for next month and we'll add that to next month's agenda. We're tabling about the driver safety, entrance and exit parking lot updates. I'll let you catch up because
Yeah.
you're doing the right.
That's
That's gonna be updated.
And
Table till next month.
All right.
we're gonna update that to reflect the van, the food pantry, as well as the senior center.
Okay, Senior Citizens Day. Do you want to speak about that, Amy?
Something that was there, I think it was a
Oh,
wonderful day.
I was there too.
My only critique would be, the extra tables that were set up with, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate because it made it look like a lot of people didn't show
I
up.
know.
Yeah.
And that,
And actually, almost everybody except 2 people showed.
so you know what it was? It was Robin Fletcher, who works for the church. She cleans for the church. He set the tables up. I thought that the Lions Club was gonna set them up, but apparently not. So they came in, they saw the tables and they just.
Just put them all up.
And it just, was just.
It looked empty.
It did look empty.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to, because actually we could have staggered tables. and
Yeah,
that's
so
the way
then
that-
there was a big distance between the head table and there were a lot
But I
of
think-
people were sitting.
That aside, I think it was perfect.
Yes.
It was, the weather was perfect. I was kind of caught off guard. Well, you asked me to take pictures. I wasn't planning on taking pictures. But I was waiting to hear the siren because I was in talking to seniors. Usually they put the siren on and we could know that the guest of honor was coming.
I don't know if Kevin asked not to have it, or
I don't know.
I'll check with Chris now, the lieutenant, that, I believe it was he that drove him. And, because, yeah, no, I know, it's clearing.
I was running out
Oh,
too
sorry,
fast. Snap
I
some pictures.
see him walking in. I'm like, Yes.
I remember you saying it was a hard way going up, hurt your knee.
Yeah,
That's the only
Climbing
reason why I
in.
knew there was a fire truck.
Yes.
Well, why did we stand up
Yeah,
here and
that-
sit? We usually do, but we
I was
listen
disappointed.
and
Yeah.
people come out.
So
but
maybe next time.
I think.
Kevin was so happy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he was so happy. And you know what? I thought that the speeches that were given were heartfelt. They really were. I mean, they shown a general respect for everything he's accomplished in the 38 years of volunteering, and he's still continuing that. Yeah, I thought it was a good choice for all of us, and it was appreciated. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. I got to tell you, I think there was really an excess of food. Almost all of us took food home. Couldn't possibly eat all of that.
Right.
We did deliver, 20 meals. Yeah, so
Great.
they used to do that and then they fell away from doing that. But when they fell away from doing it, in their defense, when we have 2 winners, we say, okay, you can bring 20 people and you can bring 20 people. So that's 40. And then we can limit the seniors to 50. So this year, having only 1, that makes a difference in the, the number.
Right, exactly.
So, but so we had more food. They ordered plenty of food. They work with us. Janet and I work on a list of people that are shut-ins, people that we know could benefit.
Mhm.
And I did deliver to one gentleman, and it was nice. And actually, I'm very pleased because now that person is starting to come to the senior center.
Oh, great, great.
So it's like sometimes it takes that little, personal touch.
You did, I mean, you have to be acknowledged for all the work that you put into it. I mean, I mean that seriously. I mean,
My 15th time.
even getting the cake, getting everything organized and put together. I mean, it's,
I put that down to a science.
Luckily, it was a little easier for you this year than
Yeah,
the
they
previous years.
But it was good. It was good to break it up and do those. It was, that was a lot of work, planning the parade and all
Oh, I
that.
know.
And I'll tell you, your year was, oh my gosh, the weather.
I know, everything went so good.
Everything went so smoothly, so.
and of course, it's always the day that the Patriots are playing at 1 o'clock.
I tried, like, can we do it the week before? No, can we do it?
Patriots are playing.
Yeah. So, but I just, and, thank you all for, your commitment to keeping that going. And the Lions too. I mean, gosh, we're so lucky to have them.
We do, yeah.
Next year, we'll just have to plan on having the TV in the cafeteria.
Oh, no, just take it.
Just so that we can watch the game while we're eating.
But it was a fine event. Thank you, Amy, for everything you did. for that. Upcoming programs, the Veterans Day Appreciation. You touched on that a little bit, but you might want to
So
expound
I
on
think,
that.
actually, early the one that usually gives us feedback about the menu. I'm assuming we're gonna go with the same menu that tonight. We're gonna go with our scrambled eggs. We usually use use for those. We use little sausage links, cook those. Paula Malnati has helped us with that. I don't know, Diane, did you help us last year?
I did serving.
Serving, okay. And, did you help with the plates?
Oh, no, I was in the kitchen.
Yeah, putting the plates together. Carol used to do that with that one. So I think we're gonna do eggs, we'll do sausage, we'll have, of course, juices. We're gonna do, Earl had suggested a couple of years ago doing waffles. And I was at home testing out this, that, and the other thing, making waffles, and I said, there's no way you could do that. But what I found was a really wonderful Belgian waffle, I found two, one Belgian waffles that one was at Trader Joe's, one was at Ice Chopper. And when you cook them, you can't tell that they're not homemade, you know, so it was something nice, rather than we don't do toast.
What's so difficult about pancakes, waffles, toast, it cools off. So by the time you get it to the table, it's cool.
So I wonder if we should, put a slab of butter or sweet some butter or something on, it. That's true. Kevin used to do our pancakes. And he'd have two griddles going, and that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
The other thing, Paul Magnati has always made this wonderful apple cake, which is, it's kind of like monkey bread.
Oh, yeah.
Just what we do is we have a few things out in the center while people are waiting. We did, I'll look at my notes from the years past, probably a fruit cup of sorts. Yes, I think that was another thing too.
What else is on the main plates besides eggs and sausage?
And waffle.
Oh, you just do the waffle.
It's an easy thing. You could cook it in.
Are they small waffles?
They're Belgian. They're one good size. I mean, one, it's enough. I think people really enjoyed them. I didn't see a lot of them come back. I mean, you know. So what's coming together for that too is we need gifts for the raffles. Generally, the police have given us the same budget they've given us every other year, $250. What doesn't get spent on food will be spent on gift cards to different, restaurants, similar to what, COA has done in our little basket restaurants, or we've got some, what was donated recently to the Friends, were gift cards with gas for Imperial. So just some things are useful, some things are just nice, and have as many as we can. And Cheryl mentioned to me, or I'm not sure who it was, mentioned the other day, when we did Ocean Soup, when we did it the last 2 years, when we did the letters to the veterans and they responded, every single person got something. So when we did it in person, we didn't have the same ability. So I think Sue was suggesting that we might want to try to have something. But I don't know.
Do we have a sign up on how many people are gonna come, or we
Yes,
just
yeah,
have no
we're,
idea?
our modest number right now is people got the newsletter the other day, they started calling. So we'll probably, and I just met a veteran here today, he told me his, he couldn't find the treasurer's office. I said, what's your name? And I said, oh, you're a veteran. And he said, yes, I am, because I remember his name. So we could actually make some calls to senior veterans anyway, if we feel that we want to, bump up the attendance, give them a personal, invitation, make sure that they know about it, because who knows, they may not have read the newsletter. So we need the gift certificates, and I think Diane, you helped with that last year.
Probably.
You did. You went to different places to pick them up. So I may ask you to do that again. If
Do you want us to give you a motion to allow to spend so much of our own funds? You have a COA gift
I
account.
don't think so. I'd
Okay,
like
just
see
to
the
give you-
friends- The friends are helping out, and this is one way that they can help out. They don't generally pay for the food or anything.
No, the
so,
police are giving us $250.
Yeah, they've.
But if you wanted to have a gift card for every person that shows, up.
Would bring on friends and ask them, because they are considered. The
like those
friends,
broad shoulders.
Those
the
friends.
friends and the police are there.
Lots of money.
They're our sponsors, the friends and the police. We're
Okay.
close,
All right.
and conduit, whatever. And I think that I'm going to work on who's gonna be in the kitchen. We can only have 5 of us at max, 4 or 5 max. I think we actually did 3 at stations and one putting the plates together and one grabbing them. We do have John Palumbo's daughter has helped numerous. years
Christina,
with it.
yeah. Diane.
She's gonna help with this. The police are helping too. Police told me, just tell us how many people we need. And you'll have the number of veterans to officers to help serve. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just, and I'm not worried about the food will come together. Just trying to figure out how many people and make sure that everybody gets something.
On the floor, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I don't know if it's even feasible or not, but how about some hash browns?
You just said the same. I said the same thing. Those
Hash
canned
browns.
potatoes worked out great. I would
I
I
told
never
my
bought canned
husband.
potatoes in my life, and they were like, here, try these. I'm thinking, are you
Canned
kidding?
potatoes?
Yeah. So really, all I had olive
Canned
oil,
potatoes, yeah.
salt and pepper. They came out fabulous. If I maybe had a little more spices, could have been
So
really
if we're
good.
gonna do the hash browns, that's something that probably, I think a lot of those are baked, like if they're a rider hash browns, that not the
Not the, no, the little probably little pieces.
There's a couple different kinds. There's ones that are cubes, and then there's the ones that are broken up and shredded. Do you have a preference, you guys?
I kind of like.
Home fries. I think they call them home fries if they're not all stuck together.
That's a good suggestion. That's just another thing to have to try to coordinate, but I think that's fine, especially if we're not doing.
If we get a few of the bags and then put them on a great big aluminum pan and stick them in the oven.
Oil, maybe. Okay, good. Sounds good. Anybody else have any? You have orange juice. We do wine cream. We have the minstrels. The minstrels have been rehearsing, and they sound wonderful.
Yeah, could we maybe get a small thing for Marge, even if it's like a small flower thing? You know, she does all those copies of the music and she, you know, just maybe a little acknowledgement, I would think.
And we did remember, we did do something for her in the spring. We had a vase of flowers. We gave.
We
that.
did.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, actually, I want to say, I don't think this is the place to do it.
No, okay,
We can do it at the holiday one.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Christmas
Christmas,
is
yeah,
the veterans.
Okay.
This is the veterans,
all
you
right.
know, and it might be a little embarrassing for her, and this is kind of their day, but I hear what you're saying. I'd say definitely, but honestly, I'd like to do something for all.
Well, in the spring, I think, in addition to March, I really think we should acknowledge the musicians
I
too.
think we did have gift cards for them.
Because they, especially, you know.
I made them signs.
They love.
Oh, that was really good. That was
I
good.
really thought we should pay them to hear us.
That was a very good idea.
Yeah,
That was spur of the moment.
but
It
no,
didn't cost any money.
You made the signs?
That morning.
I didn't know that.
That
That
was,
was so
I just
fun.
had the idea in my head and I said,
It was funny.
I know, I think Brad, and I gotta tell you, I talked to Brad's wife yesterday and she just said, oh, the cupcake, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, the cupcake was one I got probably, I don't know if it's from Diane's birthday or something at the center, I think it was. We had some leftover, 6 leftover, so I put the candle in, she's like, he still has the candle.
but that's good.
He was very appreciative, so. I want to keep him involved. I know sometimes he's probably not as jazzy as he could be
Well,
elsewhere.
he's using a box when he
Yeah.
doesn't have, he can't bring his drums in every
No.
week.
So we are gonna have those for.
I think he's been a nice addition.
Yes, so I, but I do,
And
I
Dave,
want,
you're right
I
about
want to
Dave.
keep him.
He's very high.
So we've got the musicians, we've got the minstrels. I haven't invited any dignitaries. I tell you, way back when, and sometimes that unfortunately could take up more time than, you know, speeches and such. So we've kept it really low key. So I think I probably, Earl usually said the blessing. I'll probably have, since Robin is the veterans agent, have him say something. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Marge has quite a few songs on the program this year. I think she has more than we have had.
It's really nice.
How long? Is it, how long, does it
So-
matter how long it takes for us to sing?
We're gonna come, the veterans are gonna come, they're gonna start having breakfast at 8:30. And then I guess after talking with you all, it's decided that 9:30 is when we're gonna actually sing.
It's gonna go probably past that then.
So they'll be well, they'll have had plenty of time to
Yeah.
eat their breakfast.
I think the program will last at least a half an
Oh,
hour.
no, good, that's good,
Maybe more.
that's good.
Well, maybe you
I'm
could
just
start
not
at
sure.
9:15.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
think we
when
should start a
we do-
little earlier than 9:30.
Okay,
9:15 maybe.
because see, I originally was thinking 9, but everybody said that's too.
That's
No, because
Yeah.
some people, they're not all gonna get served at the same time. I mean, it's gonna be close and, you know, they're
Okay, so
talking.
9:15.
I
That's
think
good.
9:15 would be better because I think they're gonna be getting antsy, you know. if you-
After 45 minutes.
We start at 9:30 and then say we go for a half an hour or 35 minutes, it's gonna be,
I don't think they're gonna get antsy during the program. Your program is so nice, but you know, we also have the raffles, so we have to figure out. I can't even remember when did we do the raffles completely last? No. Raffles before you guys, I don't know.
Well, I would think you'd wanna do it last.
Give some raffles, raffles. Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure, so, well, when March comes this week, we'll talk about 9:15. So I think you all have your instructions to come at least by 9:00.
Yeah, I think so. And she told us what to wear and
Yeah,
stuff.
red, white, or blue.
Oh, it's Red,
Your
white,
choice.
and blue.
Your choice. You can wear red
Red-
gloves, the white gloves, the blue gloves.
Right.
And
And if you had a scarf, if you wanted to wear like a scarf, that had the gloves. And dark pants. Yeah. And there'll be
I
10 of
remember
you,
last
just
year
Linda
we
and
were
I
all
will be there.
upstairs. Aren't you all upstairs getting ready and everything else, and then you came down the stairs and they went to your.
Well, that's what we used to do, but there's gonna be so many tables set up for the veterans. We'll probably just be in our seats, don't you think? Don't you?
You don't usually sit in your seats.
Well, the front row does,
Oh, the front row.
because some people are having difficulty with the stairs. They have a pain or something. I don't want anyone to fall.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
Mhm.
Good. So, yeah, I'll let you know if I need any help with Diana, you and I will talk about the certificates and such.
Okay, all right, I think we've
Yep.
done good on that. All right, holiday programs and meals.
Just,
Holiday
just,
programs.
just simple, I will tell you that, the minstrels, we talked about doing a potluck and having a table where we stand behind and serve. I'm good with that. I'm good with rather than other people trying to. I haven't officially advertised it as a potluck. I will tell you, people are gonna be thrilled. We haven't had one in so long, but you're okay, everybody's okay? And-
I'm okay if we have servers, I'm okay.
Yeah, so what I will probably do is, some people in the past, some people, they want to just contribute towards something, I'll buy a ham. People, instead of making something. that you
Right,
make
some people
$5,
just want to give money.
$5, do a ham, and then the other thing I could do too is, a crock of meatballs and sauce. If enough people said, hey, I'm just gonna give you a couple dollars, you know.
Tell me what date are we looking at? Was this the December 8th one?
Yep.
Okay, December 8th.
It's a third.
It's a Thursday. And it's, what's the time going to be?
Well, the minstrels will be at 11. And then after you, because your programs are usually what, a half hour?
20 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes.
So then, and then it takes a few minutes for everybody to get up, stretch, we have to put the tables out.
Okay,
So,
all right, 11, all right. Well, I don't mind a potluck, to be honest with you. We'll see what people are bringing in and we'll
Yeah,
supplement.
we can't put down a list,
yeah,
luck, and then just everybody wants to bring whatever.
And then we can just look over the list and make.
Yeah, just supplement. whatever we can. All right, that's good. Yeah, so it's us and it's the mint. And is Santa going to be there?
that's his day, that's his day. I'm sure he will be. Sure he will be.
And when are we going to decorate the tree?
Oh, okay, so Sue Carlson, her pastor, wants to come and do, she is encouraging, but wants to come and do hymns with us. And I said, well, why not have him come like this, if he's available on Thursdays, December 1st. He could decorate the tree and it'd be up to him, whatever, hymns or songs or holiday songs.
We can sing while
He
decorating.
can do secular or whatever, we could sing while decorating. She said for him, it would have to be like 1 in the afternoon, so it would be after lunch on Thursday. the 1st.
That's when Mahjong meets, but we're upstairs. I know, we
Yep,
can sing
yep.
and play at the same time.
So,
Okay.
so that hasn't been confirmed. She and I just talked about that yesterday. She's going to speak to him. So that's 12, 1. And,
It'd be nice if we had like a wassail bowl,
It's a awesome.
it's like a punch. Here we come, the wassail.
well, we could do like a, we could do cider, warm cider, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something to make it a little more festive.
something nice to nibble on and. Yeah. Good. So that's so much. So, I'm encouraged because with, I don't know if you saw the back page of the newsletter. It's all November and, because there's a lot of things, it's time sensitive, that just wanting to get things out there. So I'm really encouraged that we already have like the skeleton for November and actually December
We
too.
do.
Now, November is its own newsletter, December and January we put together. That way, no one has to worry about putting together a newsletter over Christmas.
That's right.
And
It's family
so,
time.
but I'm feeling very encouraged, because now Melissa has something that she can kind of run with. Try to get it together early, so. Yes, and then now the,
All right, so I have to interrupt you just for a second because I always want to have some clarification on my calendar, so I'm not crazy. On December 7th, is that when the Ferrucci's pay for dinner When is that?
December
14th. It's the 14th, okay.
So I think according to the notes we decided last month that we're gonna meet on 12/7 that month.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I wrote that in, but I had the senior dinner written in. Just in pencil.
We
though.
talked about that, but we weren't able to change other things around.
I'm glad because that'll break up the two
Right,
meetings.
we don't want to do it back to back.
Great, thank you.
7th will be COA, the 8th will be the potluck with the minstrels.
Yep.
The 14th will be Lucci's meal. We talked about which one was chicken, I can't remember. Chicken, I guess, what is chicken piccata?
Chicken piccata, I believe it's with the, capers and.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I
It's
don't
like-
like cake. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it because of me.
But the light
I
lemon
don't
sauce, you can knock those capers off.
I got a feeling they probably won't be taking this. Well,
Yeah, because they, last time when he asked for that, he ended up with chicken parmesan.
well, the thing about chicken parmesan was
Whole pieces.
one.
That's right. We need the whole pieces to give out,
Yeah, rather than strips
or having to cut yourself.
So he's very good. He keeps in touch with me and, you know.
Who is Ferrucci?
Oh, Dick Carucci, he's,
It's the town government.
Levis Market over in Milford.
He owns that?
no.
That's why he's very good friends with them.
Yeah, he gets,
Oh, and that's where he gets the food.
that's,
These are the
he and
ones.
his wife Betty, she ran a dog business, the Barker, on the street in that plaza where the muffin house is, and that is like the gift that they give to the seniors. They, instead of buying gifts for each other, they provide a dinner for the seniors, and he provides gifts too. There's usually some raffle things and stuff. They're very, very generous people. They don't look for anything, you know, they kind of shy away from that stuff, but
He was wandering around up at the fair.
he let us in. He was.
Yeah, but he was.
Yeah,
he was-
Yeah, a lot of cars come in. Okay, is there, we covered, have we pretty much covered that then? And Annie, you all set?
Yeah, I was gonna say, not much to say now.
No.
We don't know what the menu will be.
No, and we have next month to discuss it
And I
anyway.
think when you talk to him, it's a good idea to tell him the serving purpose. It is easier.
To have a full piece.
Yeah, so if it isn't chicken parm, maybe it could be something else, but it's something that needs to be.
Easy to serve.
Serve it more easily.
Just to make you aware too, we're just jumping back to the veterans stuff. We usually give them a token of one of our nice blue pens.
Oh, yes.
And then I usually have a couple seniors make a little bag of candies, chocolates and mints and whatnot. Just something that they have there. And I think sometimes the scouts make little placards for us. Things change from year to year. One time, a person made a beautiful bookmark for each vet, but yep, so we'll do that. And I didn't know, do you want to do anything for like the holiday meal? We'll definitely want to do something for the food. We usually do a nice plan.
Yeah.
Or something. But you want to do anything? And actually, I don't know if she'll do it. If Janet Worsma has always done, she's done beautiful ornaments. Do you recall
Yeah,
those?
oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know if we want to do anything, or maybe we'll do, these are the green pens and maybe we'll give it. That's the regular.
Yeah, and we usually do the dessert, but we don't. we
Oh,
usually
yes,
do
the log.
dessert.
You want to do the?
Oh, they're easy to do, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the holiday logs, friendly.
Friendlies, yeah.
It looks like an ice cream log and but it's very festive looking.
Cut it
It's got
this way.
green and red and yeah, and we just slice them and serve them. And you know, I'll keep an eye on Big Y because I usually let you know when I see them on.
You do, and I still have your tag, the tag you gave me. So we're going to do a lot of dessert and we'll do a punch. I know a lot of people.
Yeah,
There's a different one you want to do that side too. I think that one would be good. So then we'll have no surprises. We'll be able to kind of breeze through November. Anything missing? Orchestra of Wine, Tri-Valley meal. I suggest that because it's only a couple days before Christmas. And the holiday meal is usually a good meal, regardless of whether it's ham, turkey, or whatever. Would be less work for anybody, and everybody absolutely loves Orchestra of Wine. You could embellish it if you want, with something special. That's on
22nd.
22nd.
okay, that's the Tri-Valley holiday.
Yeah.
And we'll have entertainment and, yeah, we probably should embellish them because isn't it just the regular?
They'll probably have, they usually have what cream puffs for dessert. No cookies, I mean, it's cookies, like Italian cookies. We've still got time to think about it.
They're very expensive to buy.
Are they? And how do you feel? Do you feel you want to still stay with the 35, the number 35 that we've implemented? I personally feel comfortable with that number. Our capacity is 50, but in terms of germs and all that.
Yeah, and you've got to count in also
Yes.
servers and people. in the
Yes,
kitchen and
we've
things like
always
that.
kind of.
We probably should, because, you know, COVID,
It's
even
not
though
gone.
we're getting, I know, we're kind of starting to forget about it, but really, it's still there, though. Some, they call it the variants, so
Yes.
variants.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the veterans, without, sorry, I didn't ask you, but when I was making up the sign up sheets yesterday, I said, man, because I had the sign up sheet for 50 and it said, well, actually, I think it still says 50, but I wondered about, saying 35. Because then we'll have all the workers, the police and other. And I think that's, for the veterans program, I think that's a attainable number. They've always, sometimes they've been as small as 25. That is such as 35.
Okay, all right, so we talked about the minstrels of the potluck, and we talked about the holiday dinner, and we talked about the Tri-Valley holiday. Okay, new business, we would talk about Shine.
Just to make you aware, open enrollment has begun, has begun in a couple days. And then runs through December 7th. Chet is doing a workshop down at the Senior Center on November 16th. I had one lined up with us and it just, the date didn't work for us. It was,
Go ahead and ask anything you want.
Did you say November? I thought it
Yeah.
was October here.
No, that's the time period.
Oh.
October 15th to December
Oh, I'm
7th.
sorry.
But Chet was
So
on the
he's-
16th of November.
What they say, all the Shine counselors say, they don't have all their information right out of the gate. So they would prefer to do it a little bit later so that, because they're getting information from different insurance companies. And even though these companies are supposed to have their information ready, it's not always the case. So we're already starting to get, calls, picking up, but and then again, there's Google assistance, but Chet is strictly Shine. He's been wonderful.
Okay, anybody have any questions on what that's all about?
Serving health information needs of everyone. When I first started in China, serving health information needs of elders. That was everyone. Anybody who's on Medicare can get a free assistance through this program.
Parking lot lighting considerations. This is a new development.
Yeah,
So
so
talk
this
about it.
is, it's our friend Dan Breyer. It's just, he's on the ball and I had a thought, Peg, after you and I talked about it. Dan Breyer lives down on Providence Street, so he drives by our place at night and he sees how it's lit up. On the building, we have 3 exterior lights and we have 2 time lights, or not time sensor lights. So I really feel around the building is good, but he was wondering if we wanted to move one of the lights on one of the light posts that's between us and the highway barn on the curve there, down to like more in front of the center. And again, he brought this up to me and I was kind of taken off guard because it hasn't been as much of an issue like as I thought. And so I've looked at it several times. And one thing I've realized is that light is important for that curve. That curve is the crazy curve that people drive fast. And if we move it from there, it'll be really dark, so when you're trying to leave the center, we do have a lot of these in roads. When you're trying to leave the center, those cars, granted, you may see the headlights, but I personally, I would like to just leave the light there and maybe talk to Eldon about trimming a couple of branches from, there's a beautiful tree. Years ago, one of our board members wanted to cut the tree down and it's not on the right, because it's a healthy tree. Why like have a healthy tree? But there are a couple branches that are between the light post and our sign. And I think it would give more light to that side of the parking lot. And then he was just being very well meaning. He's looking to do something similar for the Parks Department, move a light off of
Was
the
he
pole.
talking about moving a street light? Oh, well, that would have to be approved. That we would do that. I mean, a street light on the road?
Yeah, I don't know if he has to run it by the select board.
Well, in another 2 weeks,
But he's
leaves will be off
He's
the
with the
street.
Parks Department, and yeah, leaves would be awesome.
And in the summer, it stays light till 8:30,
Right, I think,
9.
but I told him I would put it on the agenda so we could talk about it. But, so what I'm saying is, if you ever drive by the center at night, just kind of be mindful of what does it look like, but you're absolutely correct. Leaves are gonna be down, and then, but I still think maybe cutting 1 or 2 of the lower branches on that tree might be good. But I also worried about that. I said to Elvin, that tree provides shade if people want to sit there. Now, granted, they haven't done it lately, but in years past, we had a group that congregated under that tree. And it was nice shade and all,
The
so.
first year of the pandemic, that's where the knitting group met. Was that when the tree?
Yes.
Let's leave the tree intact unless we absolutely have to.
Okay,
Because we are hoping to expand, and then we'll have a whole completely different lighting situation
yes,
and funding and,
okay,
This, maybe we should table it until we look at the expansion.
yeah.
okay,
And check it again in a couple of weeks when the leaves are off the tree.
good point.
Thank you for the suggestion.
The Board of Health, yeah, this is an interesting.
I
thing.
didn't bring it.
I sent you something,
You told me something different. I like the one you had, the Board of Health stopped,
that was just a spur of the moment. It was Thursday.
yeah. Jack of the Board of Health came by and asked if we would consider installing clothing bins at the senior center for, just like situations. And I want to say theirs were kind of, I can't remember if they were like blue or pink or whatever. And Peg found something
All right,
simple,
yeah.
white.
I'll show everybody on my phone what they were. He came down and it's almost like taking the place of the old purplish pink bags that you used to get with your trash, saying, do you have any
Yeah, yeah.
textiles you want to recycle? And so we said, is somebody going to be responsible for emptying it? And, we don't want stuff hanging all over, coming out. He said, oh yeah, it will be taken care of. It will be emptied and everything. And then last night, it was after 10:30, I was sending it to you.
When are you resting, Peg?
I know. When I'm
Keep it-
asleep, when I'm asleep though, I'm dead, like dead. I hear nothing, I see nothing, I'm asleep. So
I've got it right
at Clough
here.
School, all right, I'll start with you. At Clough School, they're putting these white bins, or maybe this is the this might be the junior high, might be the junior
That
high.
looks like this.
This go, but it says, put all your recyclables is important, do not leave on the ground. And they're gonna turn the money that they get for it to the school.
Are they-
We thought it was gonna go back to the town, that's what my understanding was.
Given to other people?
Mhm.
So, yes. Okay,
I'll talk to you.
so it's one of those.
So that must
They're bins, and they look like that, they're down by the pots. And, you want to put them in there, but the message that it was on the Mendon Mass Bulletin on Facebook. That's where you'll find it. That's where you'll find it. And they said, textiles can be donated year round. Here is your chance to get rid of those old pillows, stuffed animals, etc. Everything must be bagged, and bins are located to the left side of the micro parking lot. It is just all proceeds go to Misco. Did she show you those things?
Yeah, she did.
She did, okay. So,
Do you think though, are they all from this or?
well,
these ones
he
from this?
didn't tell us that.
I'll ask them.
I believe when he talked to us, he said the proceeds were gonna go to the town. I thought he said that.
It says just textiles, but are they gonna include clothes? This textiles, aren't those like your blanket
It
sheets?
says clothing, shoes and lace. Clothing, shoes and lace.
Yeah, but he said this was a new idea, and I asked him, was it taking the place of the bags? And he said the bag program, they're not doing that anymore.
No, that got to be kind of difficult, because it was,
Always picked up.
picked up on the days that your recycling was, trash was. But then it got to that you had to go online and you had to register, you had to do this, you had to give out your cell phone number, you had to give your email address. I'm just gonna stick it in a bag and bring it down to.
Yeah.
one of those
Savers.
bins.
Yeah.
Hey, John, this is Amy. I'm meeting with my board right now and we're discussing the installation of clothing bin. Who the proceeds going to for that? Yeah. So middle school, middle school? Oh, no, not, well, we're seeing that they are supposed to be, we're working online.
It was on the Mendon Mass Bulletin.
So, yeah, NISCO has purchased they're utilizing for their purposes. So did Big Brother, Big Sister, approach you?
This was the first we heard. from all of this. I thought he said it went to the town. I was mistaken.
Okay.
It's on the Mendon Mass Bulletin. It's-
Okay. Okay, all right, so I will them further. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, bye. Apparently, those are ones up at school have nothing to do with this thing. This is because the pink tax has gone away. The town reached, I don't know who, the town reached out to, organizations to find out about this, and so, they also, in addition to doing these bids, they're doing online services. You can just look it up online. So, Big Brother, Big Sister.
So they're gonna get the proceeds. Are they nonprofit?
So
They are.
It would help the friends, when the friends are having a sale or something, it would help, instead of having to bring things, clothing to Savers. You could bring things.
Well, where did the money go?
Big Brother, Big Sisters.
Our town business, giving donations and everything to Big Brother, for a lot of years, and I find them very good.
They're picking up today. All of them.
That's an old organization, goes way back. And I remember my brothers and sisters were younger, that they were well taken care of. Doing the area, sponsored a lot of things.
I don't have a problem putting one up as long as somebody is gonna be there to empty it.
Yes.
We cannot have
Yeah.
bags on the ground.
The other issue is where,
Yeah, where?
and we, as it is, we already have, a problem with the dumpster. With the dumpster, and then we have our two bins, our two recycling bins. And then we have, of course, we have the shed, and then we have the
Could you put it
other.
over the other side, like where you go out of the parking lot? Is there any room over there? So that if people were coming by, they could go through like this and dump off and go out like a U.
I think there might be some room over there.
I'd have to look, you know what I mean? I'm just
It's a matter
suggesting.
of parking, where you can park, I guess you'd have to just park in the, you can't just park, you shouldn't just park at the exit. Yeah. I mean, should we,
The other concern is that a lot of these times, even though it's noted on the bins and everything else, people live like kids' toys and tricycles, all this.
They're not
stuff.
They're leaving, they're not supposed to be leaving.
I would say that, I think we could say something to the effect of. Right now, we are considering this addition, I mean, it's more than a consideration, I mean. Whatever it is, it's gonna most likely have to be moved, and maybe it's not the right time. I will, and I could also talk to Alan McLeod, because they're gonna have to
Yeah.
deal with.
Because it
And that's
comes
what-
up-
Actually, it wouldn't go well over that side, because that's where they push the snow.
Oh, all right.
That's right.
Maybe he should consider putting one where the firemen are, because you have to leave the main street and go down that road. They have room, this room down there.
But you're not driving by, I don't know, you have to literally leave the road,
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we're we don't have as much space as we think we
Right.
do, especially when it
No.
comes to plowing.
We have the Lions Club, thing.
The eyeglasses, yeah.
The eyeglasses.
All right, we'll,
Yeah, from a priority standpoint. it doesn't seem like it's-
all right. All right, so we're pretty much in agreement that we'll hold off until we get our new building. And then we'll seriously consider it
Yeah.
at that time.
Okay,
Because we can put that in our plan. In other words, we can think about these things that we
Right.
have to have space for.
and then when we came down to Friday, we came down to the food shop clinic, and the DNA nurse wanted to teach him how to use it, because he's gonna be doing a food shop clinic next week. And so, I didn't have the ability to kind of grab him to say, hey, look at our property, I did show them the food pantry, but I didn't show, in relation to this, we're, I don't want to say compromised, but we do. We also have that small shed, we have the gazebo.
You're gonna have that library thing.
Yeah. And Diane is spot on that. People who will be leaving, possibly leaving things that aren't clothing related, who was gonna get rid of them?
I've seen it up at the plaza there, next to Wood Plaza, they call it Emmy White's Plaza, he owns it, where all the gym is, all those businesses in there.
Yep.
There's a clothing bin there, I don't know if they're taking that away, but there was one there.
There's one in,
Gasco?
not Casco, but that the Lamberts is and the Nana's Pizza.
Yeah, and Sunflowers is
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But I see stuff on the
Would you
ground.
see it on the ground?
I see, I go there and I put my bags in the thing, but it's, people always put stuff on. the ground.
You made a good point about
Okay,
that.
all right.
That's a real big consideration. Okay, all right. We've covered the agenda, so the next thing would be open forum, and we usually go around the room to see if anybody has any issues or any topics. So Diane, I'll start with you. Is there anything you like to open forum?
I'm also,
Bill?
I think just as all these activities going on, feel free to bring me up if you need help.
Right?
The other thing is, just a question, maybe we could cover next meeting or after the new year, just the demographics. How many old people live? in
About
that-
25% of the population.
Yeah.
And that is-
We had some of those statistics because we had hoped to have a 30th anniversary before COVID hit, open house. Yes,
I'm just thinking about how many of the population,
25%.
and how many do we reach?
So there's about 1,600 seniors, and I haven't looked at it recently, but that's probably one of our last. So my senior center down at the center, that can capture, if people swipe, it captures how many men are coming, how many women are coming. And we know it's probably 2/3 of them. But how many people over 60, how many people under 60, how many people over 70? So we have the ability, as long as people are swiping in, and people that aren't swiping in, Melissa generally, I want to see if I can find somebody to help her out. Melissa is generally the person entering that data, like, so she'll look at the lunch list and see, okay, who didn't sign in today? And so, yeah, I have all that information.
Yeah, we could have a discussion about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I just, I guess we all should think about who we're reaching
Mhm.
and what programs reach the most and help the most. And maybe set- There's a lot of stuff. You've gone through this before, sure, but I just approach it from that
Yeah.
angle.
And that's
And then how many people?
statistics we would need for our
Okay, so that
expansion.
have you ever read any of our annual reports?
No.
So I could, one of those very, we do a list of statistics and then we do.
Are they on the website?
At the town, when you go to the town meeting, they give you the booklet.
Yeah,
Got your-
I've got the.
Maybe it's one I'll stop by.
I'll go downstairs with you too. It's maybe, maybe some booklets and sales on.
Doesn't even know.
I didn't know. we had a
I
website.
didn't catch the first thing you said, before you asked about the demographics, you said something else, but I don't get it.
Oh, just how the programs, how many people are we reaching?
Oh, okay.
If we have 1,600, do we reach 100, 200, 300?
So on an annual basis, we serve 500 people. We have, and it's interesting because our busiest time, we've had 12,000 participants in our programs. But that gets whittled down to 500 people. And when it's smaller times, say the last couple of years, we've only reached, say, 4,000 people. It's still, it's still 500. So we have like 500, what they call it is duplicated and unduplicated. So unduplicated or is a person, you're a person, you're a person, you're a person, you're a person. So you have 4 people unduplicated. Now, if each of you come to 5 programs, that's 20. So that, that's duplicated. 4 people did 20 events, So if we look at it that way, from the state office. Yeah, we've got all those statistics. And again, it's only as good as the my senior center. I haven't had kids for a long time that for years I had a set of brothers from BBT. One actually they would one would come 1 week, one would come the next week. They would sit at the computer by the door and they would just enter all the data. Since and I've had other people, other kids from BBT to, right now, it's falling on Melissa's shoulders. It is tedious, but it's important. You know, it's important to get those numbers. To see. how
Well, why don't we look at that in January? We'll start the year off right.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Then we'll
next year.
know.
And I can study a little bit what you already have.
Yeah, sure, sure.
And then, yeah, just, you know, I think that could drive it. That could drive it. What kind of grants can we get from the government? I don't-
And then the only thing about grants is we haven't gone for a lot through the pandemic, but grants are work.
Tons of work. That's-
So their work, never mind the work to get it, but then you have to pull off the grant and then you have to report it. So I try to do a couple of grants every year, non-COVID time. So a lot of the things at the center that are purchased through grant.
That's me just learning.
Yeah, no, and that's very good.
Donna, anything for you?
Did you want me to just tell you a little bit about the Tri-Valley meeting?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Should you put her on the agenda?
Yes, we could do that.
I'm just gonna give you like a little
Hello,
tiny
Frank,
thing.
maybe.
So the meeting was on 9/21 at 10 a.m. There was a couple of retirees, a couple of people that passed away that they were putting up benches for. Treasury report was in good standing. You're up to a total of $13 million. August had $5,258,000. Executive director's report, they were talking about the outreach program. Is underway. They got a new van. They bought a van for the outreach so they could deliver the foods and stuff. They're working on some team building events. We have a winter food project at the end of October, early November, that they hand out 324 bags of food.
Wow.
Or 324 families get
Oh, that's even better.
2 bags of food.
It's even better.
They're talking about rebates for fuel and fuel assistance things. Obviously, high demand, like we are talking about. They were talking about the applications. Staff is able to help. They were talking about their building and they hired 2 college kids to study the security of the building. Why they're so worried about the security of the building. And it was, Lisa was telling me they put those big glass, you know, when we went into,
Yes.
they put them there on purpose because people get agitated and they want to see that no one's behind a closed door with someone aggravated. So they have these kids looking at this policies and procedures. They were talking about service committee TED Talk. Yeah. And more policies and procedure stuff. They were talking about special activities, birthdays. I don't know. That's about it.
Well, we're glad that you're.
And next meeting is on the 19th.
What was the date of the meeting?
The date of the meeting was 9/21 and the next one is 10/19. So it's on, it's Tri-Valley. So it's still
Remote.
remote, yes.
Zoom. Do they use Zoom or Teams?
I don't know. I just use the phone
Okay.
because I'm saying, I don't know any of these people. I look terrible as it is. I don't want to be known on a stupid little thing.
No, you look.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We saw you that day.
Yeah.
You can change the feeling.
I need someone to like fix it up. for 'em.
Use your avatar.
Yeah. That's what I need. So everyone was they're really nice. You know, the board seemed nice. I think most people are on the remote. I think they're gonna be on the remote till, I don't know when.
Good.
Well, it saves you from driving there.
Yeah, well, it was fine. We drove. It was fine. Then I went and signed some papers on another day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So fun. Yeah.
Betsy, anything open forum? Amy, open forum?
Just something exciting to tell you.
Good.
Your Bill asking questions reminded me. My daughter is a junior at Hudson University in Bangor, Maine. She's taking the marketing class, and last week, her professor, they were studying newsletters, and her professor said, "Does anybody know of any newsletters?" She said, "Well, my mom does a newsletter." So they all went online and they looked at our newsletter, and she wasn't sure. I don't know if it was September or October, but we got a lot of compliments in that, in terms of the content, and the reason if you reminded me of it, in terms of who we serve, that was one of the compliments. It looks like we had like something for almost everybody, you know, and, you know, it's kind of nice to hear. I quickly let Melissa know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect, it's, you know, we're the learning
It's a work
curve,
in progress.
it's a learning curve, but we try to have something for everybody in terms of information and fun stuff. Nutrition.
It's kind of funny because you have a mixed demographic. You've got the young people who would be volunteering and helping are all electronic. Which is the young being 40 and down. And you have the older folks who are all paper. So you have it, so you got a mixed audience.
And it's really interesting because there's some people, like, there's some of you that would want to get the newsletter in their hands. And we offer different ways, over the years. You know, on the front, we have a list on the right of all the different activities. I started that because Blackstone did that, and I asked the director, do you mind if I copy that? No problem. And some people would tell me over the years, you know what, I cut that out and put it on my refrigerator. And then other people would tell me, I take that newsletter and I put it on my table right next to my
Yes.
easy chair in the living room.
Yes, that's what I
You
do.
know, and it's just so nice to hear these things, that, you know.
I can grab it, look something up. I don't have to run downstairs, sign on to the computer.
Mhm.
That's why I like having the.
Yeah.
I have it on my dining room table, I have a calendar, and then I have my newsletter right on top of the calendar.
But I'll tell you, if you do register for it, you do get it. You get it well before you get it in the mail. And it depends how early we get it to the publisher. You could have it 2 weeks and then, you know, but we're working on it. It's hard when we're running. Some centers have a person that this is all they do, the newsletter and then programming. And we're, you know, I'm doing a lot of the scheduling and programming and we'll try to feed it to Melissa. And we're doing the best we can, right?
Yeah.
And I do have a question. Sure, it's kind of silly because I was thinking of it, because it was what's happened with Dottie and everything. And then my neighbor across the street, she just got a ring doorbell put in. And she can even see across to my house as to what's going
Wow.
on. And so wouldn't it be possible, I don't know how elaborate they have, if they have different ones, but each of those units may have a ring doorbell put in
Mhm.
so that they're gonna capture who's at their doors. So I don't know really anything about those. All I know is my neighbor said she got one and because my umbrella flew off my deck and landed in my front yard. And she's sitting there saying, that's so funny because she goes, it had to have happened between this time and this time. And or she would have picked it up on her ring.
Well, that would be a public service project for someone, I would
What
think.
were we suggesting?
Put down at the house,
Housing.
that each one of those units, you go in, they have the doorbell there, but just replace it with one of these ring things.
I know in my complex, I live in a condominium, they're not allowed.
Okay.
Is it like an invasion of privacy?
Oh, that may be.
But in housing,
That to me.
But that does bring up a point where we usually have police come in November or December to talk about safety, scams and safety, so. This will be.
And then the other thing would be because Dottie's daughter was saying, put a chain thing on her door, but it's a metal door, number one. Number two, they may not want them in there in case the police or fire department have to get in.
For emergency.
But they have the little, I don't know what you want to call it, but it'd be the same thing, probably a thing
Yeah.
up at the top of the door that you just flip over. Yeah. That's what you did, but just flip it. and-
So the door doesn't open up all the way, on the hotel means that.
She just sent me a text and she said that they were offering to change her lock to an older lock from another unit. And she's like, no way.
Sun City's gonna put a different lock in a camera.
And anything for you?
No, I think we have covered a multitude of topics.
I have just a couple of things that, last month we talked about there was going to be a conference, was there some kind of conference at the Cape or something?
Yes.
Did that already pass?
No, it's next week. I am going on Wednesday. Janet asked to be excused. She just feels she has too much on her plate, especially after teaching that in 4-week class. Melissa, I have invited her to go with me, education courses, and she's not able to go. I'm going just Wednesday for the day.
And did you have the agenda, what's being
I-
covered?
Yes.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Yes.
Conference. And my understanding is that at the Friends meeting, you're going to do the raffle then for
Yes,
all
on the
of the
17th.
baskets
Yes,
and
all the
everything.
baskets.
All
Do
right.
that.
Get that message out.
And if I win, you guys can all split.
That would be wonderful. Have a party.
Okay, all right. Well, we certainly did cover a lot. The next meeting, Ann, would be November the 9th. And so let's adjourn at, let's say 10 minutes of 12, 11:50. Thank you all.
Thank you.
After 89, so I have to tell you.
Sure, okay, sure.
It has nothing to do with.
Okay, stop. You gotta hit stop.
I had a problem with my computer yesterday and I had to. How can I-
One second, I don't think she's.
I know you're up.
We have, I have got an email